Hello, this is Paul. Welcome to another Maximum Power Up video. Today I'm going to have a look at a few more Super Play and Nintendo Magazine System reviews, just to compare the scores, the layout of the reviews. Well, if anyone's watched the last two videos that I've done in this series, this is going to be like the third one. So you'll know what to expect. So basically I'm going to be covering tail end of 1993. Going up to, I think it's only about 5 issues, so probably about May 1994. And for anyone who's either listened to the show or watched any videos, I do stand by that around this era of the Super Nintendo, it really was the best era. There were so many great titles coming out for the system. You know, it's like, it's that point in a console lifespan where, you know, it's been on the market for a couple of years and everyone just knows how to get some amazing games from it. You know, you've had that full shift away really from the previous generation. So around here, like, you know, the NES was just putting out its like last couple of releases. And, you know, it's sort of another year or two until, you know, that next generation comes along, you know, when you know, we're going to all things like, you know, the PlayStation, the Saturn and things like that, you know, when they all started really taking over, you know. So, well, you'll see where I'm coming from, you know, with some of the games I mentioned today. Before we go on to that, just want to talk about something else finally picked up. I have picked up today, well, I had bought off eBay, Mother 2, aka Earthbound. Now, this is in the Super Play Top 100, which I'm sure many of you are aware of if you've listened to me at any point in the last couple of years now, something like that. I spent £30 on this. Now, the main reason I got it on Super Famicom is because on the chip text box that I've got in the background, I have got a ROM of Earthbound to play in English. And also the price of the American version is just like around £200. Well, the last time I looked, you know, to get it all complete and everything like that. So I thought, you know, we'll go for this cheaper alternative. It's in really good condition. The box is a little bit, you know, creased in places, but the manual itself, absolutely fantastic. Just have a quick look inside. You know, it still feels new. So great to see this, and plus I know there's like a lot of you guys who love the Super Famicom stuff, and it's just so much nicer, you know, these like little manuals that just rest, you know, in the plastic holder. Right, okay, just drop that on the floor, pick that up in a minute. But yeah, that's just leaves me now with 4 games to get. Pocky and Rocky, also known as Kiki Kai Kai, which again is about £100. Rtype 3, which again is about £100 to £120. Even if you buy it on Super Famicom, it still costs a lot. So, you know, out of cheap options there. There's also Secret of Evermore, which again probably about £80. And then lastly is Super Contra / Super Probotector, which can be anything from £50 upwards. So these are the 4 that I need to get. Then I've got all 100. There's still, I think, 3, possibly 4 games I need to upgrade to boxed. But I can do that, you know, right at the end. So I know that I still got like on one cartridge the Super Mario World and Super Mario All Stars on one cartridge. So it's whether or not to try and get that boxed, as you know, the 5-in-1 cartridge, which is quite rare to find, or whether or not to just buy them separately. Still need to get Shadowrun boxed as well, which again is getting on for about a £100 title. Bear in mind, luckily I'm not after these mint. And lastly is the Whirlo, but a Japanese version of Zandra's Big Adventure. Something else that I do need to get. So there's another 4 there really. So I want to get to about 100, and then, you know, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Anyway, what I just wanted to do also was just have a quick look at this, one sec, before we start comparing reviews. And this is what I mean. This is like the start of 1994. Oh, also, anyone who's listened to our Jazz Rignall episode, massive thank you. It's done absolutely amazing. We've had some amazing feedback. I absolutely love speaking to him. you know, hopefully we'll get him on again. I could listen to that man for hours and hours. You know, he knows his stuff. And yeah, you know where to come when you want those sort of magazine type episodes and topics and stuff. And just something that I did mention in the episode. There we go, just the Jazz is a Virgin, the piece in issue 16 of Nintendo Magazine System. You know, just as he was leaving before going booking at Virgin, as the advert says. So basically what I just want to quickly do is show you this. Now, I'm always banging on about Super Play Top 100, so I'm just going to have a quick look at the Nintendo Magazine System Top 20. So I've done top 10 NES and top 10 Game Boy as well. I'm not going to hold it up to camera, I'm just going to read them out. So bear in mind this was started in 1994, so really it ended in 93. At number 20, I'm just going to go 20 to 1. Number 20, Shadowrun. Absolutely love that. So totally agree. Super Star Wars at 19. 18, Legend of a Mystical Ninja. I'm so sorry, this must be so boring. Listen to Paul read a list. And number 17, Striker. Now, Striker didn't make the Super Play Top 100. Striker was obviously a very early Super Nintendo game, but it's a good one, and so is World Cup Striker as well. Well worth checking out. You can get really, really cheap as well. At number 16, Rtype 3, as said, one that I need off my list. And again, it's in the Super Play Top 100, hence needing it in the list. Number 15, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Luckily, not in the Super Play Top 100. Never really been a fan of it, mainly because it's absolutely solid. But again, you can usually get that for around 40 quid when I've seen it. Then number 14, Super Pro Protector. Number 13, Tiny Toon Adventures, you know, the Buster Bust Loose, great game. Number 12, Starwing. Number 11, F-Zero. Number 10, Zombies, which is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love that game. Number 9, Legends of Mana, well, Secret of Mana. Again, another favourite of mine. Number 8, Legends of Zelda. See, that's Super Play's top 100, number 1. Number 7, Turtles Tournament Fighters. Obviously, this magazine was a massive fan of it. Number 6, Super Tennis. Number 5, Super Mario All-Stars. Number 4, Super Mario World, quite close. Number 3, Super Bomberman. So, Super Bomberman higher than some of those? Not really. Number 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. At number 1, Super Mario Kart. So, some good games there. I think they've all been highly rated, hence, you know, being in that list. But yeah, it's quite funny because there's only a couple there which they think amazing that haven't obviously made it to the Super Play Top 100. Right, so I'm going to just find the first review I was going to be discussing today. It's an obvious one, but I'm not really going to spend too much time on it because I mention it quite a lot. First of all, we have got my copy of it here. I've opened it before on here, so I'm not going to get it out again. We have got Secret of Mana. Now, Secret of Mana is one of my favourite games of all time. Absolutely fantastic RPG. And it was good as well that obviously we got it in the UK. Now, with Super Play, they reviewed the import version of it, because I remember my mate getting the import version, and you've got a 2.5 page review of Secret of Mana, as you can see there, just, you know, quite early on looking at the village. I'm not going to spend, like I say, too much time on this because there's not really too much to say. If you're into Secret of Mana, you know that it's a great game. If you're not into RPGs, it's not exactly, you know, going to be your cup of tea. 94% there. Obviously, fantastic score. And the thing is, with Secret of Mana, I only completed that for the first time a couple of years ago. Well, it was 20 years after its release. And yeah, I was so happy to finally tick that one off my list. It's good, you know, it really is. And if you have a look at the Nintendo Magazine System version of it, bear in mind, Secret of Mana got a lot of coverage in other magazines as well. There's one called SNES Force that made the cover, and I think a couple of others. I think that's Super Control. You know, the lesser Super Nintendo magazines also had it as a you know, featured game, because after Zelda, it was always looking for the next big RPG, and really, especially for fans in the UK who didn't buy imports, then yeah, it really was the next big RPG. Anyway, Secret of Mana here looks absolutely fantastic there. You know, nice big spread there. You know, big bold colours like that I mentioned before. And again, just a third page there. And I rated that 93%. So you have a look at the interest curve up at the top, and you know it's going to keep you going for ages, and my god it does, because you do have to do quite a bit of grinding. Now the next game I'm going to talk about is Rtype 3. Now Rtype 3, as said, is in the Super Play Top 100, and it is a game that I need, and my god it really isn't cheap. Obviously if you want to get the PAL version, I think it's an Australian release, you are paying more for it, but even if you get the Super Famicom one, as said a little bit earlier, you're still paying over, well, around that £100 mark if you're lucky. I think I might just have to be just calling in favours, begging anyone who may know anyone who has got Rtype 3 knocking about. So basically I'm going to start with Nintendo Magazine System this time. So they've made it their cover feature as a Super Play, to be fair, so Rtype 3. You already had Super Rtype, which wasn't bad, you know, early launch game, but Rtype 3 is a game I've never ever played, and Alex on our Super Nintendo episode chose it's one of his favourites, and I have been meaning to play it, but I've been stuck on Champ Manager, and yeah, I need to stop playing Champ Manager as much and get stuck on some other games. Anyway, so straight away it's got the seal of quality. As you can see, a massive you know, review of it here. Loads of screenshots, quite a lot of text. Something that I do mention quite a lot about Nintendo Magazine System. It does, you know, look nice and bold. And you've also got here another 2 pages there. So there you go. Nice big pictures. They're getting 93%. Interest curve, not too bad, you know, for a shoot 'em up as well. It's just like one of those where, you know, if it was a little bit cheaper, I probably would have had it by now. But I have tried to, you know, wait as long as I can. But you know, at some point I will get it and I will actually play on it. So with Super Play's review of it, they've given it again quite a lot of space. Got a couple of pages there, nice double layout. They're reviewing the Japanese version. What's it priced at there? £60 to £70. Suppose if you think of it that way, it's not gone up in price too much because it's, what, 23 years ago. Suppose if you get lucky, you might pick it up for about, you know, you might pick it up for about, what, £80, something like that. And then we've also got another third page of a review there, and they rated that 82%, is it? 83%. So game life's not amazing, just like really Nintendo Magazine System. Agreed on that, you know, but I think it's a case of for a quick blast, it really is like one of those games which is absolutely fantastic. So the next thing I'm going to mention is, I usually try to have all the magazines open and stuff, but unsurprisingly I hate getting them bent and stuff like that. Now, next game I'm going to mention, again, this is one I've actually never played, so I can't really comment too much on it. I can only go off what I've heard people say, and thinking back to what people were saying at the time. Although, saying that, I'm quite surprised to see the difference in these two scores. So, the game we're going to discuss is ActRaiser 2. Now, ActRaiser is a game that we mentioned on the show loads and loads of times. A great side-scrolling hack and slash type game, you know, action platformer. But also a God Sim as well, so you know, it's like 2 games in one, loads to do. However, with ActRaiser 2, they got rid of the God Sim part, they just basically made it the platformer, well, action platformer. Now, obviously, people not always a fan of that. However, let's compare the two. So, first of all, this time I'm going to have a look at Super Play. So, as we know, Super Play is always going to be my favourite, so that's usually where my loyalties lie. So we have got Super Play, who obviously are massive RPG fans. ActRaiser 2, 2-page review there. Obviously, loads of text, quite a long review down here, and they're giving that 69%. So, whereas when you see like ActRaiser 1, you know, getting like the high 80s and the 90s, you know, massive fans of it. Just gonna have a quick look. It says, verdict, a disappointing step backwards. It might boast 12 megs of audio-visual splendour, because yeah, it does look absolutely stunning, you know. And again, the graphics gave 91%, the sound 95%, but it's basically the gameplay and the game life which have really let it down there. So basically, it's saying it looks brilliant, but there's just nothing really to it. And that's done by Zai, who reviewed that. Now, when I look at Nintendo Magazine System, without even getting to the score, this is what we've got. Big and bold. So, it's more than 2 pages. Again, Nintendo Magazine System known for those massive, you know, big, colourful box outs and everything like that. All the information here down the side. They're saying, yep, it's very hard. And they've given it a 4-page review. However, the difference is 92%. So they're really bowled over by it. You know, this is a big difference. You know, 30% more or less. You know, I know it's always just 2 people's opinions, but with this, they agree. Obviously, the graphics absolutely fantastic, presentation, the sound. They're saying the playability is amazing, 93%, and lastability 90%. Even on easy setting, the challenge is stiff. And overall, a lavish production of mythic proportions, a divine platform adventure, and better still, it's no walkover. So yeah, they agree, it is very difficult. However, it's obviously just not, you know, entice Zai over at Super Play. He's really just not into it at all. So I know it's always each their own. It's hard to say, you know, because loads of games that I'm not a fan of, but I know that other people do like, you know, if you ever listen to any episodes of me and Phil. So, for example, Moonwalker on the arcade or Dick Tracy on the Mega Drive. Yeah, there's lots of disagreeing words there. So, I'm going to move on to the next one. So I don't want to spend too much time on each one. Just quick advert here. Break it up a bit, have it there for Future Zone, everyone who remembers them. The only thing I've just got to point out is this. Don't know if you can see that, but we have got Kevin Keegan's Player Manager, only £48. My God, you know, that's one Super Nintendo game you can get cheap. NBA Jam's 60 quid, you know, I do remember a mate buying that for around that price, probably at Dixon's or something. So the next game I'm going to choose is one that's in Super Play Top 100, and it is a game that I own, hence it not being on my need list. I am getting to it now. Here we go. And the game is, it's one that I've mentioned on the show before in our Hidden Gems episode. It is Side Pocket. Now, Side Pocket is a pool game where you can obviously do quite a few trick shots, multiplayer as well. And this is not the type of game I will pick up. If it wasn't a Super Play Top 100, I wouldn't have bought it, in all honesty. So, let's have a quick look at that. Now, this one cost me about £10 to get on Japanese. Luckily, it's all in English as well, which is always good. And then just having a quick look in here. Granted, me instructions are a little bit rough around the edges, but the cartridge and everything in great condition. Really nice. So, with Side Pocket, what makes it good? As said, dead easy to pick up and play. I'm not too great at it, but it's just fun, and you can get it on the Mega Drive as well. So if you ever do want to, you know, a bit of a pool game, it's worth picking up. And like I say, for about a tenner, you know, it's not bad at all. So now we come to reviews. So with Side Pocket, first of all, on Super Play, I know the Super Play Top 100 has got its issues, but Super Play there gave Side Pocket 86%. So quite good. This was reviewed by James Leach. Verdict: oh, did I mention that? Great selection of Cocktail Lounge tunes. Well, I should have done. There, I mention them now, and Side Pocket is even better because of them. consider it and prepare to be tempted. Now, it's quite funny, you know, it's one of those where you think, yeah, worth a try, you know, multiplayer as well, and again, not too expensive. But then when you have a look at, just off to page 78, here we go, and side pocket again on NMS. Just quickly to compare the scores, I'm not saying anything different about it. 84%, so there's not too much in that really, and again, all the scores there in the 80s, so that's not bad at all. Now, the next game that I do want to have a quick look at is, let's have a quick look, I have got this somewhere, here we go. Sorry about this, believe it or not, I actually do plan these out, even though at times it probably doesn't seem like it, so that I do apologise. The next one I am looking at is going to be Chaos Engine. Now, the Chaos Engine is really, really popular, great game. Mentioned it when we did our Amiga episode, because obviously I spent hours and hours of that when I had my Amiga. Great game. It's obviously like, with Bitmap Brothers, we just did so many great games. Now, console versions of the games aren't always as good. The console version just seems a damn sight harder. I am just having a quick look what page I just need to go to. 44, and here we go. So I'm just going to quickly show you the reviews and I'll show you my copy of it. So Soldiers of Fortune is the American version of it. So this is the American version they're actually reviewing. Soldiers of Fortune, also known as Chaos Engine. They did change a couple of little things in it. I think they took out, was it the priest? Yeah, I think we just changed the priest to the preacher or something like that, or the scientist. There was something that we changed on the consoles version. I can't remember exactly what it was. I did mention it on the Amiga episode when we did talk about the console versions. But there we go, we got 89%, so that's really, really good. Quite a high score there. And then when you have a look at the Nintendo Magazine System version, we have got, where is it? I'm just trying to think which issue it's in. Sorry about this, just bear with us 1 sec. I think it's just in the one I just put back. Got too many magazines. Who'd have thought it, eh? No, I've kind of, honest to God, cannot find it at all. So I think what I'm just going to do is just going to have to quickly nip over to another magazine, well, the game. So that's my copy of Soldiers of Fortune. So I bought this for, oh God, I think it was about £30. It had been listed on eBay a couple of times, and it had some, you know, coming down in value all the time. And then eventually I just thought, do you know what, I'm going to get it. I got it for a really good price. I have found my review as well, so thank you for bearing with me there. And looking inside, it's almost mint. It really, really is. So happy with this, because to get it on English does cost a little bit more. Granted, a little bit of a dent there, but nothing major. A little bit of a dent there as well. I'm sure that wasn't used there. Maybe I'm just packing them in too tight. But anyway, just to have a quick look, we've got a very mint condition game bag and everything, and also same with manual there, which is almost mint, and has also got the poster as well, and then all the other little adverts inside. That's when I actually show it, and all the little adverts inside that you get, like all the little leaflets in the American games. So definitely happy with that. I think that's just it. I think we're getting to a stage where I'm putting some of these games on my shelf. I've just got to be a bit careful with them, that they're not just getting absolutely battered, you know, hence the plastic cases. Anyone who doesn't use those, highly recommended, especially with some of your more valuable games and stuff, definitely. So what I was saying then was the Chaos Engine review, or Soldiers of Fortune, page 76, and this is the Nintendo Magazine System version. They've obviously gone for Chaos Engine with its English title there. So 2-page spread there straight away, showing quite a lot. And then we've also got another 1 page there, but they're not impressed by it. 68%, big difference. No chance that I make it into the NMS top 100. It's just, there's lots of nice ideas, but it's just really, really difficult. And it is, you know, it's so easy just to get killed, and then before you know it, you know, that's it. You don't actually want to carry on. And I think that's just something which is, you know, the thing with playing some games, you know, especially back then, you're thinking, well, is it possible to actually play through it? You know, do you want to carry on playing through it? And obviously some games were just absolutely solid, and that is one of them. Right, so the next game I'm going to be having a quick look at is, I've got it here, it is Tetris Battlegaiden. Just get to the correct page. Here we go. Now, this one is one that only got latest last year, so it's one of the more recent games to my collection, and it's basically this. Another Tetris game, you know what to expect, you know, match things up, make blocks disappear and stuff like that. So there's quite a few Tetris games on Super Nintendo. This one, Super Famicom only. So again, this one hasn't got instructions though, sadly, but again, in really, really good condition. I think that was about £12, which was a really, really good price. Because again, to get it complete, usually importing it from America, and it is costing, you know, quite a bit more. So I'm happy with that. As mentioned when I was looking at Earthbound or Mother 2, some of the thing is to do with the price as well. You know, you don't want to skink yourself. So again, last look, last review here. Tetris Battlegaiden, nice and quick, 86%. I will actually try this out eventually. And the last thing here, really, really nice layout to this. See, NMS, absolutely love it. You've got big box outs for the characters that you're coming across. Really, really colourful. You know, I'm surprised how colourful that is. And again, they've just given that. Third review there, lastability not too great, so it's just one of those that you probably just put on every so often. 90%, absolutely fantastic. Really, really high rated game there, you know. So that is everything. I'm sorry that this video has gone on for so long. And yeah, please, again, leave comments. You know, I'll always reply, have a bit of a chat. We are in the process of getting the first part of episode 50 out by hopefully this time next week. Doing a bit of recording next, and yeah, that is absolutely everything. Okay, please keep supporting the show. I had a great month last month in May. It's the 1st of June I'm doing this today, and yeah, obviously keep you up to date with all things. Alright, cheers guys, see you later, bye.